Well, hello everyone. My name is Connor Alexander. I'm a priest in the Episcopal Church, and for the last year, I've been working on a new model of stewardship that I'm calling impact-based stewardship. And because I like to share things, I thought I'd put a video together to share it with anybody who's interested. So why don't we go right ahead and get started? Okay, so our learning objective for this session. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to articulate a working definition of impact-based stewardship in your own words and provide some examples. So let's start off by looking at some motivations to give. Why do people give to any kind of organization? So one of the fundamental assumptions is this. People give to an organization because they see the good work that the organization does and they desire to be a part of it. And so that gives us a good sense of what stewardship is. It also tells us what stewardship is not. It's not a duty, it's not an obligation, nor is it payment for services rendered. So with that in mind, let's work on some working definitions of stewardship, and I'll give you a couple different examples. So impact-based stewardship, inviting people to give of their time, talent, and treasure to further the life of the church because it makes a positive impact in the lives of others. The assumption, people give to things that they believe make a difference in the world. So here's another working definition. Impact-based stewardship is participating in the good work of an organization that makes a positive impact in the world and that the person believes in. And so then the job of a stewardship committee becomes one where they connect people with opportunities so that they can use their resources to make a difference. So whenever you make an appeal, there's going to be two parts. You'll need a story of positive impact and a request for the donor to join you. So with that in mind, let's do a tale of two requests. So here's part one. So this would be the first request. Well, it's been a tough year here at St. Swithin's. Because of the pandemic, we've lost a lot of pledge revenue and we still can't meet in person. We've managed to keep costs to a minimum, but the church still needs donations to do its ministry. If our revenue doesn't turn around, sadly, we may have to start cutting staff. Would you help us out by turning in your pledge card? Anything you can give will be greatly appreciated. Now, I don't know about you, but this sounds kind of morose to me. I'm not very motivated by this kind of appeal, even though in the past I have made these kind of appeals. So let's look at how this might be turned around a bit by using impact-based stewardship. All right, so here's a tale of two requests, part two. Well, it has certainly been a different year at St. Swithin's. Since the pandemic began, we've moved our worship online and even expanded the number of services we offer. And I've been amazed lately at how we're reaching people. Just the other day, a mother contacted me about her son. They have been watching our morning prayer services together, and he had a lot of questions about God. I set up a Zoom meeting with him, and we had a wonderful conversation. This remarkable thing is that previously they didn't attend church, but now I see them regularly on Facebook Live. This is all possible because of the generous donations of our parishioners. So will you join us in making a pledge for the 2022 year so we can reach more people like this young teenager? The card is enclosed and it can be submitted by, and then you would give your specifics. Now, I don't know about you, but I find this second request, the second appeal, much more convincing. And I'm much more motivated by hearing this wonderful story about a young boy who is watching an online service and reached out. We made a connection there, and the church was able to do its work. So here's just some notable quotes that I find, and this is from a book, Nonprofit Fundraising 101, from Lynn Twist. So fundraising is an act of love. Every time you raise money for a cause you care about, you're taking a stand for the just, equitable, and sustainable world we all dream of. Your role as a fundraiser is to help people see their commitment and then show them how to make a difference. People don't give because you have needs. They give because you meet needs. Now, to be successful, fundraising must be expressed as an opportunity to partner with a nonprofit to make a difference. And as I was working out this notion of fundraising, stewardship, I noticed that it had this wonderful relationship to evangelism. Because good evangelism is also driven by stories of positive impact. Evangelism is sharing the good news. And when I say that, I'm going to make a distinction between the universal good news of Christ and the specific good news of the local community. Evangelism can make use of both, but specifically within this context of impact-based stewardship, we're talking about the second kind, the specific good news of the local community. So here's an example. On Christmas Eve, despite being shut down because of the pandemic, many parishioners gathered in the parking lot of the church, remained in their cars, and listened to the service on their radios. The joyful sound of horns honking filled the air in place of Amen and the peace of the Lord. All who participated were happy to celebrate Christmas in this fashion. So if you would like to help us continue to offer creative worship opportunities that also keep people safe, you can make a donation through, and then you would give the specifics. Here's another example. During the week before Christmas, the food pantry provided a table with stockings and Christmas craft materials for anyone who could use them. One 11-year-old boy was there, and he was carefully choosing a stocking and several items, saying, "Oh, my sister is going to love this." The volunteers saw this, and they were touched, and they offered a stocking for him also. And they said, "You can have one too." And he replied, "No, this is for my sister." So the food pantry is accepting donations of stockings and small items to help make a difference in more children's lives this year. There's just a couple of ways there where we tie a story into a specific request. But does there always need to be a request? Well, yes and no. Invitations to participate through time, talent, and treasure, they need to be carefully thought out in such a way that it meets people where they are and makes a request that is appropriate for their situation. And I have a part 2 video coming up as well that will go into more depth in this topic. So here's for a breakout session. You can pause this video and just go around the room, or you can journal about this, talk to people, and just give everyone an opportunity to share a story where their church made a positive impact. Right, you can pause and do that. So one of the main tasks here, if you want to do a year-round stewardship program, you'll want to be gathering and sharing your good news. And to be successful, every stewardship committee needs a systematic way to collect and disseminate stories of positive impact. So some of the ways you can gather these stories, around the table discussions, evaluations following major events and programs. You can do member canvassing. There can be others as well. You can disseminate these stories through newsletters, blog and social media posts, videos, sermons, mailings, and perhaps some others. You make something specific for your church. So as a follow-up, again, in your journal or talking with some other people, give your working definition of impact-based stewardship. You can pause the video and take some time to do that. Here's some other questions. What is one step you can take to gather stories of positive impact? And what is one step you can take to disseminate stories of positive impact? Go ahead, pause the video, and come up with some answers to those questions. All right, I hope you enjoyed this session on impact-based stewardship. I've got some resources here, just a couple of places where I've been able to learn about this method of fundraising. All right, and that is everything. Thank you for joining us, and look for part 2. All right, God bless.